Hey guys, I hope you guys are doing pretty good today. So, I wanted to go ahead and show you guys some cool behind the scenes stuff. So today I'm actually working and Tiffany and Lil are over at the stores in the Winter Garden Village just shopping and having some fun. But I wanted to go ahead and show you guys some behind the scenes stuff. So let's get into this. So back in 2016, we actually got into vlogging originally. And honestly, it was a blast back then. We got to try out a couple different cameras, and we learned about what works, what doesn't work, and also we showed why you shouldn't trust those cheap Chinese GoPro knockoff cameras. It was actually fun back then. However, the problem is, over time, you want to have the best gear and you think that's going to make the best video, but not all the time does it. Sometimes having the simplest gear can be the best. Case in point, the iPhone. The iPhone is an amazing camera. It's great and it's just simple. Turn it on, hit record, you're good to go. And then later you can color grade in whatever app you want. And you can also fix the audio if you want. You can also hook up Bluetooth microphones. And it's perfect. But other times you want a little bit more. And that's where we start getting into it with some point and shoot cameras. And then also we tried experimenting with other point and shoots that just didn't work well for us. So I wanted to go ahead and take a little bit of time and show you guys what we use behind the scenes. All right, let's have some fun. Let's get into this. So this is our first camera. This is the Canon 90D. This is our workhorse. It does everything you could dream of. 4K filming, 30 frames per second, got it. Amazing photography, got it. Great microphone on top, perfect. 10 to 18 lens for that beautiful widescreen, perfect. The only problem is, it's a bit bulky. It's just overall big. And that can be off-putting, especially when you go into a restaurant or you go into a store. People don't like it really, and that's a shame. So next is the Canon M6 Mark II. This camera was great in 2020 when it was new. However, after only 4 years, it developed a big issue. The internal circuit has died. So what that means is every time you go ahead and you change the battery, let me show you. You get this screen here, where it wants you to reset the time. That's annoying when you're in the middle of a vlog. But overall, great size. Unfortunately, this is a known issue with them. Another great camera that we use is the iPhone. The iPhone 15 Pro Max, that's what I used, 512 gig model. That way I make sure I have plenty of storage space for everything I need on the go. And overall, for a lot of shots, it does pretty good. So this is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. What we have is the Creator Combo. Comes with the microphone, the camera, and some other cool little accessories, some of which you'll probably end up losing. This kit actually ended up costing us $668 versus just $519 for the camera by itself. The Osmo Pocket 3 has become very popular among many vloggers, whether it's Adam and Will, Right Down Main Street, Paige and Mr. Morrow, or a few others. The only question is, when you're so used to a Canon 90D and other DSLRs, is it any good? Let's take it outside and find out. After all these years, Tiffany convinced me to go ahead and get rid of a couple of items and get a newer camera. Something small, something light. And I looked around. I saw G7Xs were out. I saw they had the Mark III. We tried that ages ago. That failed miserably. We saw Canon V10. It looks like a toy from the 90s. Not exactly my idea of fun. So, we went ahead and we started looking at other vloggers. Paige and Mr. Morrow Nate. Osmo Pocket 3, right down Main Street. Osmo Pocket 3. Even Adam the Woo, an avid G7X lover. Osmo Pocket 3. So I thought to myself, is there really something to this camera? And could it replace my Canon 90D? The big workhorse? Well, the answer is yes and no. No, it can't truly replace the Canon 90D because I would love for that for like when we do long filming shots. Parades. There you go, where you need a long battery and you want to take long actual footage shots. And that's cool. But what I don't like about the 90D is I can't take it into a restaurant. If there's a restaurant that just opens up, I can't go in there with the Canon 90D and film. Instead, I gotta use my iPhone. And if you use the iPhone, well, then you're just killing your battery on it. So I wanted something separate that was still good. And after getting rid of my iPad Pro, an older 2nd gen model, and I also got rid of a GoPro 360 Max. Big mistake that I ever bought that. But 3 years later, returned half of its value back to me. It's not too bad for a camera. But that gave me enough money, and then went ahead, upgraded Tiffany's iPhone. She had a 12 Pro, so I got her a 15 Pro, and now she loves that sucker. Anyway, one thing I noticed, my arm. I feel like I could actually hold this sucker up forever. I'll get into that in a minute. Is that I had enough money where I could buy almost any vlogging camera. So I went with the Osmo Pocket 3 Creator Kit. It's actually what I'm just walking around right now using while I'm talking to you guys. And so far, I'm loving the stabilization. I love that it's not digital, so I'm not gonna have to crop in. What I don't like though, is there's no optical zoom. Normally, it's not really a big deal, okay? And keep in mind, a lot of times, when I film on the Canon 90D, which I showed at the start of the video, it's that, how should I put it? It's a 10-18 lens. So it's not really that big of an optical zoom. So you're not really missing much. We always record in 4K, so when you crop in, it crops to a 1080p basically. Not a big deal either. So really, overall, this is pretty cool. I will admit, the only thing that I'm a little nervous about is the gimbal. So the gimbal itself, it's cool and all. I love how it stabilizes so far. I'm trying to do the ninja walk they call it, so you don't get that bobbing up and down look. We'll see how that looks. But anyway, the gimbal itself can be broken pretty easily if you're not careful. And that's okay, because what I did was I activated a replacement plan for it. So if anything happens, I'm covered. And I like that. I do like being covered when it comes to protecting my items, especially when they're my workhorses. It's what I need to get my work done when it comes to this. So, I don't know. When it comes to the M6 Mark II, I don't know what the heck I would do with that camera. Because overall, it's not a perfect camera at all. It's rather junky. It doesn't do what I need to. And it can be pretty bad. So overall, the M6 Mark II doesn't have a place in our arsenal anymore. With the failed circuit on it, I don't know what I'm going to do on it. I can't exactly sell it because I would have to disclose it, and that just kills the value. I could trade it in over at Best Buy, collect maybe a couple $100. Same thing with B&H, they'll give me a couple hundred maybe, or 300. But that's beside the point. The point is, I think that I found a cool camera that so far I like. I just don't know how it's gonna look when I'm standing next to Tiffany because she's short. Like, yay. So we'll have to experiment with that with her. But overall, I've been pretty happy so far for the past couple hours. Tonight, I'm thinking about going over to Hollywood Studios, walk around over there with it, and filming there. But let's go ahead and get back to the house. Let's see how the footage looks. It's been a pretty nice little day for a little walk around the neighborhood. All right, so now we're back at the house. And basically right now, I'm just reinstalling DaVinci Resolve because we do have DaVinci Resolve 19 beta. And I wanted to go ahead and try that out. Yeah, that's my favorite editing application. Now, when we get down to it, okay, is the Osmo Pocket 3 the perfect camera? No. I don't like how it doesn't have a user replaceable battery. Yes, you can add battery grips onto it, but when the internal battery dies, that's it. Now, on the other hand, how often does DJI release a new Osmo Pocket? Well, from what I've seen, about every couple of years, so that works out great for us. That means that in a couple of years, when this battery dies, just buy a new camera. And if they keep using the DJI Mic 2, well, then we don't have to buy a new set of microphones, which I did actually buy Tiffany a microphone. So I'm excited for that to come in on Monday. Now, when we really get down to it, okay, is there a perfect camera for everything? No. And the reason why is because different cameras have different purposes. Action cameras, GoPro. Supposedly they're great for different action sequences. Only problem is in Florida they can overheat and cause issues like that. On the other hand, the Canon 90D, amazing camera, perfect in almost every way. But it's big and bulky, and that can cause issues when you're trying to be inconspicuous. And you don't want people to know that you're really recording. The iPhone, great camera again on the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the 15 Pro. But at the same time, there comes one big issue with that. And that is that as you use your camera, you drain the battery. So, gosh forbid, you need an important phone call or something when you're out walking around in the city. Yes, you can carry battery banks, but yeah, again, now you're relying on an external battery. And when we get to the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, it's an amazing camera, phenomenal. Out walking with it just earlier, I loved it. it was lightweight, and what's interesting is that my arm didn't hurt at the end. Holding the Canon 90D, yeah, it's a big, heavy sucker. But the downside to the Osmo Pocket 3 is that the internal battery is not user replaceable, so you have to basically chuck the camera and get a new one when the time comes. That is a downside, but if they keep the DJI Mic 2, well, then you just have to buy another camera and you can keep your mic setups. And that's cool because I bought Tiffany a mic too, just like I'm using here. Overall, here is what I'm planning to do. The 90D, I want to keep using that for certain events. The M6 Mark II, it was a great camera when I got in 2020. 4 years later, internal circuit died. Now, every time you change the battery, you reset the time. That's annoying, it's a hindrance, and I don't like things interrupting my workflow. If you know me, you know I like a complete consecutive workflow from start to finish where everything just aligns. If it doesn't, it annoys me. I'll talk with Tiffany, see what she wants to do about that camera. But when it comes to the Osmo Pocket 3, this is a keeper. And that's saying a lot from me because I tried the G7X Mark II, a favorite by Am the Woo, Tampa J, and a few others, including, I think it's World of Micah, he also uses it. But I wasn't too thrilled with it. And that's okay. You don't have to be. Because different cameras are made for different people. G7X Mark III. I hated it. Absolutely. Because that camera, the focus, was like somebody with ADHD, which I had as a child. And it just couldn't keep focus at all. It always wanted to go from front to back. It couldn't stay on one particular person. And even when I boxed myself in, it still said, no, I'm not focusing on you. So that led me to basically say, okay, well, you have to go. The Sony RX100 Mark V, $1,200 camera, short battery life. It had to go. And then we tried a couple, then we got the T7i. T7i worked great. I loved it. Unfortunately, the mirror stopped flexing up and down like it should, so that caused some issues with recording. So we got rid of that, and then we just started filming with the iPhone. Then we went to GoPro. GoPro, batteries are small, they die pretty quick, and the heat is horrible for them. They overheat like crazy, and then they just want to shut down. Kind of like Tiffany on a bad hot Florida day. Love you, baby, but it's true. So that left me to, what else is there? What can I get that has some give and take to it? And that's where the Osmo Pocket 3. And honestly, I like it so far. I just walked a little bit to the left in my room. It followed me nicely. And that's what I like about it. And I think that's why so many other vloggers like it. Ooh, DaVinci Resolve is done installing. Nice. So, the Pocket 3, it's going to be a keeper in our arsenal. There's no doubt about that. What I do recommend though from you guys is make sure you get some protection for it, because that gimbal, that has me nervous. I like cameras that are bulky, they're sturdy. The 90D, it's actually dropped on its side and it still works perfectly. Okay. This, on the other hand, Adam the Woo, saw a video of his, and his camera dropped to the side. Luckily, it was still working after. I don't know if he had any issues afterwards with his. But overall, I'm happy. And you know me, it takes a lot to make me happy. So guys, with that being said, please like and subscribe. Comment for more suggestions on what you want to see us do and see. And with this Florida tropical storm / hurricane, please be safe out there. I know I don't have to tell you that, but I still do, because we love each and every one of you. And I hope you enjoy our video content. And honestly, we just want to make better videos for you. And that's why I traded in some old junk that we weren't using to get another piece of camera equipment that can do stuff that the others can't. I thought that was a win-win. Not to mention, the only thing I had to spend out of pocket on this whole camera gear setup for the DJI Osmo was $106. And that $106 is because I went to B&H and I ordered Tiffany a transmitter mic like this that I'm using. So that's where it worked perfectly. But other than that, Best Buy, please sell the transmitter independently. I don't need to buy 2 more when I already own one. Thank you guys so much. And we'll see you in our next video. And we'll probably end up going to Hollywood tonight. I don't know, we'll see. Let's see how the rain goes. But guys, thanks for watching. I will see you later. Bye for now.
You take my breath and I can't get it back. Might be time for me to face the facts. The best me is with you, but I